Yes, what an unpleasant surprise this was. Thanks. I'm Deb Human. I'd like to call our meeting to order for the Planning Commission. It's 7 o'clock. I'd like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. So could you please rise? Join us.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks. I think it's time for roll call. Do that first.
Okay, Vice Chair Human.
Present.
Commissioners McMullen.
Here.
Hingos.
Here.
Jenin.
Here.
And Becker.
Here.
Okay. All right. I'm looking for a motion to adopt the September 17th agenda for tonight.
I'll make a motion.
And Madam Vice Chair, we do have some additional information that needs to be adopted into the.
Oh, okay. Should we start with that then?
So it would just be a motion to adopt the agenda with that amendment.
Okay.
So that's just public comment from one of our cases that we've received.
Okay.
I'll
Thanks.
make the motion to adopt with the amendment.
Okay. A second.
I'll second.
Okay, thanks. All right. Now we're looking for a motion to approve the minutes from July 16th.
You need to take a vote on that motion.
Oh, I do. Okay, sorry. This is my first time. It was an unpleasant surprise that.
If we need your outside voice too, Monday night we had a full house and they still
Oh.
couldn't hear in the back.
Oh, really? Okay.
July.
Okay, I'm not close enough to the microphone. All right. Okay. Could we have a vote, please? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Motion passes. All right. And now we'd be looking for a motion to approve the minutes from the July 16th meeting.
Jenna, I'll approve the minutes from the July 16 meeting
Thank you.
as written.
I'll second it. Becker.
Okay, and then our vote, all in favor
Aye.
and opposed? Thank you. Okay, this is the part where we ask for public comment. And we welcome public comments. Anyone who'd like to submit a comment to the commission on a topic that is not already identified in the public hearing section of this meeting. And although we may not be able to answer your questions tonight, and in most cases will not act at this meeting regarding the matters discussed, the Planning Commission appreciates your input. So if anyone has anything they'd like to bring up that's not on the agenda for tonight, this is an opportunity to do so. Okay.
Jody, is there anybody Jody?
Hmm?
Is there anybody written? Did
Oh,
anybody sign
yeah.
up?
Did we receive any?
Do I say that there are 3 comments that we received?
Yeah.
If anybody's going to talk on anything that's not on the agenda tonight,
Mhm.
so then you would just call them up and have them speak.
Okay, okay. Anybody is going to want to come up and share public comment?
In reference to us being spoken to tonight?
No.
No.
No, just
Anything not on the agenda.
anything not on the agenda.
Right.
Nobody?
Mhm.
Okay.
And you didn't receive anything?
I received it
discussed.
for the written, yeah.
So the written public comment that we received is what you included you amended the agenda to include.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Yep.
So close that portion. Okay, and it's public hearing. Okay. All right, so we're closing the public comment at 7:04. Okay, now we're moving on to public hearings. And we'll go to Beth,
Thank you.
please.
Yes, Vice Chair and Commissioners. Can everybody see the screen?
Nope.
Yes, no? Not yet. Okay. Sometimes it takes a little bit. I've learned to not go.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Okay. So before you tonight, still no.
Nope. All
Okay.
we're getting is us.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. You guys see it?
No, we're just seeing basically people.
Yeah.
Now we're seeing a desktop.
Okay. All right. That's good. Then you should be able to see it
Now
now.
we do. Yep.
There we go. All right.
Thank you, guys.
So, Commissioners, before you tonight are requests for a rezoning and a comprehensive plan amendment for the property at 23671 St. Francis Boulevard Northwest. So this is a 1.3 acre property located on the southeast corner of Highway 47 and Ambassador Boulevard. Today, there is an existing 2-story building on the property. Currently, there's a chiropractic business in that building. So just a little bit of history on this site. Some of you may remember an application that came through last year. So I just kind of wanted to give the full history of where this site has been in the last few years. So prior to 2021, this site was zoned B3 Business Park. And then, so in 2020, the comprehensive plan was adopted. And then after that comprehensive plan was adopted, the city worked on a zoning code update, and that included an update to the zoning map to ensure that the zoning map and the comprehensive plan were in alignment with each other. So in 2021, as a result of those updates to the zoning map, the city rezoned this site to the I-1 General Industrial District. The B3 district actually no longer exists in the city. So that rezoning was to bring that site into conformance with the 2040 comprehensive plan. As a result of that rezoning, the clinic use that's existing on the site today became a legal non-conforming use because clinics were not allowed in the I-1 district. In 2024, the property owners came forward and requested a zoning code amendment to allow clinics and offices, including medical, dental, and therapeutic, to be a permitted use in the I-1 district. That amendment was approved, and so at that point, the clinic use becomes a conforming use on the property. And so that brings us to today, where the applicants have applied for a comprehensive plan amendment and a rezoning to change the zoning to the B2 General Business District and the comprehensive plan future land use to the commercial land use category for this site. So again, just a little bit about kind of the compliance issue. So the city is required to have a zoning map that is in conformance with the comprehensive plan's land use guidance. And so that's where you get the double request this evening, because the requested rezoning to that B2 district, the B2 district is not compatible with the existing land use category of business park light industrial. So that's kind of where you get the 2-in-1 request for tonight. So I'll explain both the rezoning and the comprehensive plan amendment in a little bit more detail here. So the site again is zoned I-1 general industrial. That includes allowed uses such as the clinics after that amendment in 2024, but other things like auto service, manufacturing, warehousing, wholesaling, those types of uses. And the full list was included in your packet because there are a lot more uses than I just listed there. The applicants are requesting a rezoning to the B2 General Business District to better fit with the interest that they've received for potential future tenants within that building. So there are existing auto-oriented and manufacturing uses to the south and east. You can kind of see that entire purple area on the screen bounded by Highway 47 and Ambassador. There are commercial uses that exist just across the street west of Ambassador. There's also a commercial parcel that is planned just to the north, across 47, and then the one that's planned is across Ambassador to the north. The comprehensive plan amendment request. So again, you can see that this site is currently guided for business park light industrial. You can see that that entire area that is today zoned I-1 is guided for this business park light industrial use, that purple color on the screen. That's a land use category that emphasizes employment centers and industrial areas. You can also see that there are commercial areas, again, just to the west across 47, and then to the north across Ambassador as well. So tonight, the Planning Commission is requested to hold the public hearing for the comprehensive plan amendment and the rezoning, and then to take action on those requests. As a reminder, these requests as a zoning ordinance amendment and a comprehensive plan amendment, these are what we call legislative requests. So these are things that establish policy for the future. You're not just reacting to what's written in the code against an application. You are helping to decide policy for the future. Because of the nature of this as a legislative request, Planning Commission and City Council have broad discretion when they're determining if these legislative changes are appropriate or not for the city. And so you may have noticed there's not a recommendation of approval or denial in your packets. Because of that, the reasoning or the findings for whatever recommendation you choose to provide tonight will need to be identified by all of you as you make those motions. So we did include on the screen, and I can always flip back to this, some kind of topic areas, if you will, for findings that people may choose to use to either support the approval or support the denial. So those are things like, does the city have capacity to serve the site if it were to change with its utilities and infrastructure? Is the site compatible with the surrounding land uses? Is there adequate access, safety, all of that? So I did want to note before we open it up tonight that, again, these requests go hand in hand. So if the Planning Commission is not supportive of the comprehensive plan amendment, then you should also not support the rezoning. Likewise, if you are supportive of the comprehensive plan amendment, then you should be supportive of the rezoning as well. So again, they go hand in hand. So with that, I think I'll pause and see if there's any questions for me. Otherwise, you would open the public hearing.
Any questions?
Nope.
Commission?
For your information, I'm gonna abstain on all votes on this because I'm a client there.
Thank you. Okay, well, I'd like to open for a public comment then, 7:12. Oh, yes. Okay, it's, I'm opening it up for a public comment. So if you come up, could you please come up to the microphone and share your name and address?
Hello, can you hear me?
Push the
Press the
button.
button.
There.
Is that one on?
Thank you.
I can talk about it.
All right, go right ahead.
So my name is Cynthia, and this is my husband Brian, and we currently live at 3121 228 Lane Northwest in Bethel, Minnesota, which is right here still in town, even though it's Bethel. But we own the commercial building at the southeast corner of Highway 47 and Ambassador Boulevard in St. Francis. We've operated our chiropractic business here in St. Francis for over 2 decades and purchased this building in 2013 to expand our clinic and responsibly lease the remaining space to compatible businesses. What we are asking for is a request to rezone to a B2 general business so the building can function as a small multi-tenant neighborhood commercial site consistent with its original zoning and the corridor immediately around us. Why this is critical: when we bought the property, it was zoned B3 Business Park, which allowed the uses we built our plan around: medical, fitness, wellness, and general office. We financed, designed, and later moved our clinic into the lower level on that good faith premise. During refinancing and build out, we learned the site had been rezoned to I-1 industrial around 2020. Our only path to stay on schedule was a narrowly tailored medical use only ordinance amendment. That stopgap now prevents us from leasing to normal office retail service tenants without a fresh ordinance action for each prospective tenant, which is about a 2.5-month process with no guarantee. We've already lost qualified tenants who've loved the location but couldn't wait through that uncertainty. The result of these imposed restrictions is real economic hardship. Our clinic is carrying building costs, and we're constrained in expanding our services and offering competitive wages and bonuses to our 11 employees, most of whom live in St. Francis. This request simply restores the reasonable leasing flexibility relied on when we invested here, so the building can support our clinic, our team, and our family long term. How it aligns with the city's objectives: parcels to our north and west are zoned B2. Converting our site to B2 realigns this corner with its immediate context and the city long-term land use direction for this node. There's no added strain on infrastructure. The intensity and character stay neighborhood serving. What changes is that a healthy mix of small professional and service tenants can occupy long vacant space, strengthening the tax base, stabilizing this corner, and keeping jobs and services in town. In short, this is a corrective realignment that protects a long-standing community business, unlocks reasonable leasing options, and advances the city's goals for a cohesive commercial corridor. For these reasons and more, as we have outlined in our application, we respectfully ask for your approval, and we thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Thank you. Was there anyone else?
Hi, my name is Michelle Anderson. My address is 22861 Unity Street Northwest in Bethel. I am the St. Francis Chamber Area of Commerce President, and I'm also a real estate agent in town here. And I have known the ops since I met Brian at County Market, sitting at a little plastic white table in 2003 when he was just starting. They were just starting out. They are an absolute staple in the community when it comes to community support and community pride. And I just wanted to kind of throw my 2 cents in and saying that I hope that you will take into consideration that they've been a longstanding business within the community, and they didn't do anything to change this. They had a plan and they were working with their plan, and they kind of got blindsided when all of this came up. And we just kind of want to share our concern and support, because we would hate to see a business like Op Chiropractic leave the community because this was changed without really any knowledge or anything. So just wanted to share that support. So thank you.
Thank you. Did anyone else want to share? Okay. If there's no further comment, I'm going to close the public hearing at 7:18. Is it time to move on to a motion?
Yep, so it's
Or-
discussion
or
time
discussion.
between the commissioners.
I guess I'll start out. I think it makes sense. Right now, with the cross the street and that kind of the general theme kind of being built up there with the planning. It's a corner lot. Generally, it's more demanding for, or not demand, in demand for businesses rather than industrial. Industrial is more about, you're not trying to pull clients in usually. Especially with some of the other industrials back there, minus the auto shops. On top of the fact that no additional real city demand there, there's already long-term infrastructure planned with the future of the roundabouts planned on that intersection. So I don't see a problem with it.
I agree. I feel that it would be really to the benefit of the city to rezone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on. To rezone it and approve this.
I would agree.
Okay. All right.
Am I allowed to comment?
Yeah, I think you're fine to comment.
I've been going to Brian for a number of years, but they're so involved in the community. They sponsor just about every event that happens in town. I think it'd be a disaster to lose a business like that because a change in the rules that they weren't aware of. If I could vote, you know where I would.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Chair, I have a question for Beth.
Yeah.
Beth, was there, back in the day, following timeline and whatnot, the city wasn't really a villain or a culprit. How the confusion, I mean, it's a really nice building, they've done a really good job, they've been here a long time. What was the confusion back in the day, or who,
Yeah.
Not to point any fingers, but who didn't know what, when, and why?
Yeah, so Vice Chair and Commission. So as part of the 2020 comprehensive plan, that's when this entire pocket of purple, here, I'll go there. That's when that entire area was re-guided for business park, light industrial use. And so in my opinion, kind of the confusion where it came in is this was all re-guided. And then we also did the zoning code update that eliminated that B3 district. And so those parcels that were B3 had to have somewhere to go. And so a good portion of this area directly to the south is more manufacturing auto uses, which seemed like the I-1 district fit there. And so trying not to spot zone, that's my understanding of kind of how that entire area got rezoned as one sort of chunk rather than individually pieced out.
So it might have been a housekeeping thing that was posted, and probably just not attended to by the parties that are concerned, because the city is definitely pro-business.
Yep.
I never want to chase anybody away or make, make it difficult.
Yep, so there was public notice sent out as part of the comprehensive plan update, and then again as part of those rezonings. So
Life gets busy.
life gets busy, mail happens.
Sure.
I
Okay.
can't, yeah, that's,
I just want to restate again, the city's
Mhm.
very pro-business and we want to see, more diversity and more, activity as much as we can. So I don't have a vote in this thing, but I want to make
Yeah.
sure. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, I get, the not wanting to spot zone, but I think having that corner lot at a major intersection be zoned for as a business rather than industrial
Mhm.
perfectly makes sense.
It does.
Can you guys speak up a little bit?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just restating that I feel that, because I understand the need or desire not to, spot zone, pick lots here and here to rezone it, but a corner lot on a busy intersection between two major roads makes sense to be a business district, so.
Okay, thank you. All right, are we ready to move to a decision? So we're looking for approval, denial, or tabling this
Now,
issue.
question, would that be, two, recommendations for both the amendment update and the rezoning?
correct, yes.
Okay.
So it would
Yes.
be two separate motions.
It's in there.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
I'll go ahead and make the first one. I would move to recommend approval of the comprehensive plan amendment to re-guide 23671 St. Francis Boulevard Northwest from business park light industrial use to commercial use with findings of fact as identified by commissioners.
And so those findings of fact would be, I know you've stated them,
yeah.
but if you could just restate, so I'm.
So finding of facts would be that they would have minimal to no capacity of city utilities and infrastructure increase. Compatibility with surrounding uses to both the north and the west lots, and access aligns with general business at both the two major intersections and future routing expansions planned there with a roundabout.
Okay. Isn't there a second
Second
part?
motion.
Okay.
Do individual or all of one lump sum?
Do them one at a time.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. So we have a second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, I'll also motion number two, move to recommend approval of the rezoning request to rezone 23671 St. Francis Boulevard Northwest from I1 General Industrial to B2 General Business with the following facts or findings of facts. The first being the proposed rezoning is consistent with the amendment to the 2040 comprehensive plan, which re-guides the site for commercial use and other findings as identified by commissioners.
That's the only finding
Yeah.
you need, but if there are others you feel like sharing, you can.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I will second
Okay, thank you. We're gonna vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, thank you. That motion passes.
So that will be before council at the next council meeting, which is the first Monday in October.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we're looking at Dalton River Villas, is that correct?
That is, yep.
Okay.
All right, Vice Chair and Commission, before you tonight are several requests relating to the Dalton River Villas project. This is a 16-acre parcel that's along the Rum River. It's currently undeveloped today. There is frontage on the site on Woodbine coming up from the south, and then Ambassador Boulevard on the west. As you look at that site, you'll see that it's a fairly irregular lot shape becomes quite long and narrow as you move from east to west. The site is also encumbered by several natural features. So there's a bluff as well as the floodplain that covers about half of this site. So a concept plan for this site was before the Planning Commission as well as the City Council earlier this summer. At that point, council members and commissioners kind of looked at the concept, said that in general, the layout and the size of the lots seemed to be reasonable. We talked a little bit about the outlot on that eastern side as part of the area that's part of the floodplain. That would be remain an outlot, but would not be part of the city's public park system. So the requests that are before you this evening include a preliminary plat, multiple variances, and we'll go through each different variance, and then a conditional use permit for public roads. So the preliminary plat itself, you can see the full plat there on the screen. It includes 19 single unit residential lots that are clustered in kind of that southwest portion of the site. 16 of those lots are proposed to be served by a northerly extension of Woodbine Street. 3 of the lots would have direct access onto Ambassador. There are also 2 outlots proposed. Outlot A covers a good majority of the natural features, so the floodplain and the bluff. It runs right along the river. And then Outlot B is adjacent to Outlot A, but would include a stormwater basin. This site is guided by the comprehensive plan for low density residential use, which is 2 to 3 units per net acre. So when we do our net acre calculations, we take out the natural features like the bluff and the floodplain. So for this site, it's a 16-acre site, but once you take out the areas that are undevelopable, you get about 8.3 acres on that site. And so with 19 units on about 8.3 acres, that proposed density is 2.3 units per net acre. So it's right in the middle of that range. The site itself is zoned R1, which is the urban low density detached residential district. It's also located in the urban Rum River Management District, or that's an overlay district because it's adjacent to the Rum River. So as we're looking at dimensional standards, the most restrictive standards would apply. So whether that's the R1 standards or the urban Rum River Management standards, whichever one is more restrictive is the one that applies to this property. So talking about dimensional standards, this is where the variance requests come in. You'll see that the areas that are highlighted in red on the screen are areas where there are requests for variances. So those include minimum lot area, minimum lot width, minimum front yard setback from a local street, minimum rear setback from a county highway, and then maximum impervious surface. So again, I'll touch on each of these in more detail, but wanted to kind of lay out the picture for all of you. I also did want to mention, we've had some additional information from the applicant yesterday, where they actually updated a few of the lots. They changed the lot area for lots 14 and lots 18. So those lots no longer require a variance for minimum lot area or for impervious surface. So in the packet, when I said, there are 8 lots that require variance, that number has been changed to 6 based on the changes that they've made.
Do you know if those changes were, I saw, due to a road curvature, was that rerouted and that's what changed it, or?
No, I contacted them and based on looking at the lot sizes, asked if they would be able to just adjust the lot areas in order to not have as many variance requests.
Okay.
So they were able to adjust that. So speaking of lot area, again, per the comprehensive plan, this site is required to have a density of 2 to 3 units per net acre, which if you multiply that out, you're looking at a requirement of 16 to 24 units on that site in order to be consistent with the comprehensive plan. So they've proposed 19 lots, which again is kind of right in that range. Because of the shape of the lot, as well as the existence of the bluff and the floodplain and the access coming from Woodbine, those lots are clustered in that upland southwest portion of the site. So they're not using the entire site as developable land because it's not developable land. So you'll see that the 3 lots that are below the required minimum lot area are listed there, so you can kind of see the range of lot sizes. Staff is supportive of this variance request. Again, It's an attempt to preserve the site's natural features while also threading the needle and meeting the city's density requirements. So this image shows the lots that are requesting that specific variance. Next up is lot width. 18 of the 19 lots that are proposed are undersized. The one that is not is lot 11 to the north. And again, those lot widths are reflecting the fact that these are lots that are smaller and clustered together in that southwest portion of the site. And so staff is supportive of this request as well. Next up is maximum impervious surface. The Urban Rum River Management District allows a maximum impervious surface of 30% on any lot. 6 lots exceed that limit. Those lots are somewhere between a little bit over 31%, up to 45% impervious surface proposed. Again, these are the exact same lots that are requesting the variance for minimum lot size, so it's a direct result of those lot sizes themselves. If you look at the site as total, the impervious surface total for the entire site is about 13% of those 16 acres. So that includes the lot improvements that are anticipated, so the houses, the driveways, things like that, the extension of Woodbine Street, and then the sidewalk that runs along the street. Next up is the minimum front setback from a local road. So there is a 25-foot front setback from Woodbine Street that's proposed for all those lots that are shown in red. This is consistent with the R1 district. R1 requires a 25-foot front yard setback. However, it is undersized for the Urban Rum River Management District, which requires a 35-foot front yard setback from a local road. Staff is supportive of this variance. If you start to look at it, the setback pushes the homes that are east of Woodbine actually closer to the bluff and the river by forcing them to be further back from the road. On the west side of Woodbine, it pushes those homes closer to the county road. So staff is supportive of keeping those houses off the road and off the bluff as much as possible.
I don't know why.
And then lastly, minimum rear setback from a county road is the last variance that's requested. The applicant is proposing a 35-foot rear yard setback from Ambassador. This is consistent and actually exceeds the requirement for the R1 district, which is 30 feet. However, again, it's undersized for the Urban Rum River Management District, which has a 50-foot requirement. So staff is supportive of this variance. Similar to the other setback variance, this moves the home away from the natural features while still exceeding the requirement for any other, or the same requirement that you would see for any other R1 zoned property. A little bit about access here. So primary access, again, is proposed to come from the Woodbine Street extension. So that would extend up from the north and terminate in a cul-de-sac. And that would serve 16 of the 19 lots. The other 3 lots are proposed to have access drives onto Ambassador. This entire project was sent to Anoka County for review, and they came back supportive of those driveway access points onto Ambassador. They did request some adjustments to the driveway locations to make sure that those are within 30 feet of the property line, which is what the applicant is showing on this updated drawing. I did want to mention that the creation of a public road in the Urban Rum River Management District requires a conditional use permit. That's something that we did not notice for this meeting. And so the public hearing for that specific request will actually be held at the City Council, not tonight, but the public hearing for the other requests will be held tonight. So in effect, it's 2 public hearings. Landscaping, the site today is heavily wooded. There is clear cutting prohibited within 150 feet of the ordinary high water mark of the Rum River and 30 feet of the bluff line. So we have asked for the applicant to provide an exhibit that shows that area where the clear cutting is prohibited. So grading in those areas would need to be custom grading, and then they should preserve as many significant trees in that area as possible. The city does not have a tree preservation ordinance, and so there's nothing specific to go off of as far as, replacing trees that are removed. There are 2 trees proposed to be planted for each lot, 1 tree in the front yard of every lot, and that is consistent with what the code requires. So the applicant is proposing a mix of birch, coffee tree, locust, linden, and maple.
Just a question, because I don't have it memorized, do those trees align with the city requirements?
They do, yes. Yep. And finally, the lots are proposed to be served by city utilities. The city engineer has looked at the utility plans as well as the stormwater plans, and provided a letter as well for different comments. There are 2 stormwater basins proposed on the site. One is that infiltration basin proposed in Outlot B, which is on the east side of the site. The other is a rain garden that would be private, which is primarily on Lot 11. So tonight, Planning Commission is requested to hold the public hearing. Again, that hearing is for the preliminary plat and the variances, not the CUP. That will be at the City Council. And then once the public hearing is closed, then commissioners should discuss and provide a recommendation to council. And staff supports the preliminary plat, variance, and CUP requests, and the suggested motions are on the screen. They're also on page 25. So I'm happy to answer technical questions if you have them before the hearing. Anyone have any questions? No. Hearing none, I'd like to open the public hearing at 7:38. If you have a comment or question, please come up.
Give my name and address.
Yes, please.
Julie Murillo, and I live at 23539 Ambassador Boulevard.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I was here during the developments across the river. Some are familiar faces here, some new. And excuse me. I was here in reference to the riverbank and concerned of the building. And I was told of the 150 bluff wouldn't be touched. And across from my house now, I have a neighbor who has weed feeded the entire riverbank. I have one that has completely clear cut it. And it's ironic because your map cuts off those properties. Yet if you look at Google and you look at the address that was just sold, it shows you right there the clear cutting. It shows you, okay, even if they take the buckthorn out, right? It's supposed to at least have coverage, right? Their advertisement of that home being sold is the front of the house giving a straight view to the other side of the river because it's gone. I have called the city, as Jody knows. I have called the police. I have called the waste management shed. I've talked to Jared. I've talked to Matt. I've talked to all of them. I used to live off Butterfield Drive with my parents, grew up here, been here 50 years. And everybody directs me back to the city, but nobody's protecting that embankment. So when you say it's only 5 feet that you're giving to the builder, right? You're not, because the builder's asking, right, for in previous space, right? He wants more home. He wants you to give more into the lot. So that way to say you're saving the bank, but you're still giving them space on the bank. So although you say it's 150 feet of building, who's protecting that? Because I'm told it falls on all of you. Because you guys are closed on the weekends. You can ask plenty. They hear the chainsaws going. You know, I've done everything in my power as a resident to try and protect the bank. And I've gotten zero response. I literally had the mayor at my house this week to show him there's nothing there, right? You're talking 2 trees. Now where you all want to build 19 homes, when I was little and went to Miss Butterfield's house, right, where Butterfield Street is, that was where we all played, was in them woods. So to talk about replacing 2 trees with all of the trees that are there, I'm wondering who's going to be accountable for the riverbank. You know, Kevin, You're from Oak Grove, right? You guys had a 1.5, right? $1 million investment for erosion, right? Back from 2017.
I don't recall, but it was very possible.
It was a large investment that they did through Oak Grove and Andover. I went kayaking down the river this past weekend. You go from Isani's Bridge right up to where all our buildings are. All our vacant areas where we've torn down trees, and there's not even homes yet. And it's tree covered. It's a nice, pleasant area. Everybody respects it. You get into these small little 0.4 acre lots. And it's literally just a grass and, like you guys said, 2 trees. Everything on here doesn't fit, or there's a reason why there's variances. It doesn't fit the front, it doesn't fit the back. I live on Ambassador. I wasn't here when the apartment building was being built because our seniors need a place to live, right? That I can see. We have so many vacant lots right now, so many just dead areas that are just sitting plain. And yet we're here talking about demoing more trees and not even like caring for what's already sitting there. So I'm just wondering if this is built, because this is my view going down the river, this is what I look at, who's going to be responsible for the embankment and enforce that you say 150 setback, but really it's 30 to the embankment because that's the center of the river. And I know it well because I've been here standing at this podium last time when you did developments. So I'm just wondering who takes accountability for what I look at now. And when those homes come up and all these people on Butterfield and the wraparound, all those homes demo, the trees are gone. Who's accountable for it? It's not just a simple 5-foot setback that you're giving them. Or from the street. So I'm just wondering who is accountable then when that comes into an effect? Because I'm talking about only 8 homes that were built across me. This is 19. And you have 3 on the street that are right next to me in the A-frame. So I'm just wondering who's accountable for it? Who do you call when that stuff is happening? Because when I had the mayor at my house, he said, I don't know, Julie. I'm going to have to look into that. And when I told him that I call the police and the police told me to call the city tells me to call the police. Right? So I'm just looking for answers as to who is accountable for it if this variance is approved.
That's a good question.
And there's Amber Ashbourne right now. That guy who demoed his lot. I'd love to show you all. I have a picture if you'd like to see it. And my question is, he clear-cutted his thing. I totally get getting rid of the amber board, right? I get it. But it's supposed to be during certain seasons, right? So if you're going to live on the river and be responsible, know when to cut the tree down. No, dead summer. So now I, this year, had 12 dead trees in my lot. I'm just wondering who takes responsibility here, or direct me who would take responsibility for what I'm dealing with on a day-to-day basis. Because you're just asking for that to come. You guys gave less of a setback on that building. And this is what I'm looking at.
Thank you.
So I'm just wondering, when they're advertising, right, that It's clear cut. Who do you go to? Who do you ask? Who here has it? Because watershed, DNR, and mayor, and police all tell me it's you.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think that's a question that we can answer. We don't have the authority to enforce.
Yeah, during our discussion portion of this, I will be asking a couple questions to folks around here.
Okay.
Because I too have wondered about the consequences of disturbing the riverbank and things like that, because it
The
happens.
DNR will say that it's up to the city to enforce it. So last time when it started with these houses, you all sent notices out to them.
Mhm.
But like me and the mayor talked about, people move, right? I was told that it went with the sale of the home, right? That it went with their contract and said, you live off a Rum River District property, that's what it was supposed to be in the sale of the home. This is what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do. So when people moved in, they knew right from the get-go what they were approved to do. I talked to a realtor, the realtor looked at me like I lost my mind.
Mhm.
So
I appreciate you sharing your concerns.
thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Tina Carroll, 23045 Ambassador Boulevard. I do agree, why cut down all these trees? We just had this issue behind Subway where the city came in and downed 6 acres of trees before anything was even done. And now we're going to do the same thing here. But like she said, replace it with only 2 trees. That's not really preserving. I mean, people keep talking about the ecosystem and what do we need to live? Oxygen. Where do we get that? Trees. Well, I'm sorry, but if you keep cutting those down, it's not going to help. Nothing is going to, you can't replace those trees that you're cutting down. You've got 100-foot trees. We won't see that in our lifetime if you're cutting these down. And who is responsible for paying for those trees to be cut down? Because I'm sorry, but we already took the bill and took the brunt of having to pay that $80,000 behind Subway. And who's going to pay for these trees to be cut down? And when is it actually going to happen? Is it going to happen once everything is approved by the city? Or is someone going to jump in and do it again right away? That's my fear, is that this is going to continue to happen if somebody is not being held responsible. And we need to protect this city. And with only, just under 8 acres actually being built on, why do we need 19 homes there? Why can't we have those lots be a little bit bigger to preserve that embankment and preserve the forest? Thank you.
Thank you. Did anyone else have any comments or anything they wanted to share? Thank you. Is there any discussion, questions from the commission?
Public comment?
We have to do that, don't we? I'm closing the public comment at 7:51. Thank you.
All right. Part of our discussion here, since it's front and center, what is the if we can answer that here, the proper way to go about for raising concerns around clear cutting trees down to that riverbank? Because it is a legitimate concern. I know permits have been denied. When I used to go to the Rum River Inn when I was still in, they wanted to have they had their patio out there. They want to be able to see the river. Denied because you can't clear cut down to there. So I know the city's doing its job in denying permits to remove those trees, but how do we enforce that? The DNR has restrictions in there during the initial review, but they kind of entrust us to maintain that. So what is the proper way? Is there a proper way currently set up?
So commissioners, that is something that I would like to look into a little further too, before I give a a straight black or white answer on that. Right now, the requirements that are in the city code match the requirements that are in the state rules as far as clear cutting goes. And so that's something that both the city is in charge of, but then those rules are, my understanding is those rules are enforced by the DNR. And so we just got a new DNR area hydrologist this week. And so I think that's a good discussion to have with him to understand really who is responsible for this. I will also point out that these lots are not proposed to be riparian, and so people will not be owning down to the riverbank. Property lines aren't always visible, and I understand that. But the people who, assuming that the city moves forward with this project, that these are not riparian lots.
Do we know how far down to that, towards that riverbank is it? Do we have the plot map that you could throw up?
Yep, just a minute. Does that help? No, that doesn't help here. Sorry. There we go. So you can see there's that outlot A stretches along that riverbank. So it's obviously thicker in some areas and narrower in others.
Yeah.
My experience, if somebody lives above the river, they don't care where the property line is. If they want to cut a tree down, they're going to cut it down.
Especially when the proposed houses are close to 450K.
Yeah.
And that's understood. However, this is all assuming the behavior of someone that lives there that doesn't live there today. And so you do need to, focus the discussion on what's, the plans that are in front of you today.
But we are using the history from previous lots and similar situations that are being brought up.
Yep. And it's a valid concern.
And so there are conditions that the city can put on, and we can think of some understanding that concern. I don't have them in front of me right now, but.
Question from, I believe the last time we reviewed this, was there just discussion? I know there was discussions around whether the city would be up for accepting the stewardship of outlots. Is that something that is the case here, that land would be city land? It just wasn't clearly laid out, just that wouldn't be part of the city park.
Yeah. So as part of that concept plan discussion, council determined that this would not be an area that would be accepted as parkland. And when I informed the applicant of that, he said that he would be retaining ownership of Outlet A. So the city would not own Outlet A.
And so Outlot A, is that correct that it kind of covers the bank?
Yes.
Here, I have a question.
Yes.
Beth, when this comes to council, can we get some aerial shots of what we're talking about as far as foliage and trees and whatnot?
Sure.
An actual, like a Google map,
Yeah, something a little bit clearer than that.
Thank you.
I've got a drone I can fly up.
What's that?
I've got a drone I can fly up.
You use that too. I have another question, Chair, if I may. Does the bluff is pretty much, is that governed by the DNR per se, even though somebody owns a lot and they take liberties and cut a tree? If they're into that bluff area, isn't that that's an infraction right then and there? The DNR would step in and take some action.
So commissioners, I think that's where some of the confusion is coming, is a lot of the time the DNR will say they are responsible for below the ordinary high water line. Obviously the bluff is not below. And so that's where we need to understand who is really responsible. And that's where I'd like to have a conversation with the hydrologist.
That's what the young lady brought up, as far as she called, their fingers are pointing this way.
Right, and that's what we'd like to do.
Okay. No, I support that wholeheartedly. Thank you, Chair.
I'd also like to get confirmation, because it was brought up here. I know the clearing of the trees behind the subway area, that was city-owned land. City covered that cost. This is not currently city-owned land. City would not cover the cost of cutting trees.
Correct. This is privately owned land, so the private owner would be doing the clearing of the trees. The city would not pay for any of that.
I did see in the packet, a note that okay, so it's not discussion about the CUP, but, around the lots for it, so, that the current design for the road would, not be acceptable for the 30 mile per hour design. Would that still require plots to change dimensioning? Or has that
Commissioners,
been
I would have
changed?
to go back and check on that. That would be likely a note from the engineer, and so
Yep.
I can confirm with him.
Okay.
Chair, I have a question for Jody.
Yeah.
Jody, have you seen anything like this before where there's been some liberties taken with property lines and or foliage or whatever? And if so, how was it, I suppose, depending on where the land was and whatnot, but have you seen infractions like this and then nothing, then some confusion like this come up before?
Chair and commissioners, yeah, I want to say it was probably, maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago. We received a call on the suspicions of somebody, clear cutting their lot. City Administrator Kate and I did go out and look at it, and they had some disease trees that they did take down, that they were allowed to take down because they were diseased. But other than that, when we went down there, we couldn't see clear cutting, so to speak, beyond what code had mentioned. And so,
I know things have changed too in the last 5 to 10
Yeah.
years or so. Would somebody have to have a certificate or from an arborist to say that these trees should be taken down, et cetera, et cetera? I guess currently, should they have some paperwork and stuff provided or be them notifying the city that they're gonna be removing some trees and whatnot?
that'll be a question for the DNR when we do reach out to them to find out if there's more to that as far as that goes. We did take pictures while we were out there and we did show it to them. And it wasn't anything they were concerned about. And so they left it back and gave it back to us. And
Okay.
and we talked to the homeowner and we informed them of the city code, and we didn't receive any complaints after that.
All right. I know the DNR gets pretty excited about moving bogs or cutting cattails and whatnot. I mean, there's all kinds of, that rat and hell can come at you if you take some cattails down, again, because it's a natural filtration system, et cetera. So
Sure. Yeah.
I think they'd be pretty excited about some trees in there, especially in their area of the bluffs or whatnot. But
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I can understand your concern.
Mhm.
The property I showed you is the one that she's talking about that they went out to when it was 2000. And I was the caller,
Mhm.
and now it's completely gone. Everything.
And yeah, and I guess I haven't received any new complaints since then. If it was others that were notified about it, but had I received the calls, I would have brought the DNR back in. Yeah.
All right.
A question, generally when something's brought forward and put on our schedule here, we have, the opportunity to push for more data to come in till the next meeting. Is that an option on this one?
Yes, you have the opportunity to recommend approval, recommend denial, or table. You would need to identify the information that you need and, ensure that would affect the decision that you were.
Right, and I believe the consequences is that if we don't approve it on the next one, it gets auto approved.
We would look at the timelines
Okay.
for approval.
Okay.
I don't have the dates in front of me.
Okay, I closed the public comment, but I believe there's someone who wanted to say something.
At this time, the public comment is closed.
I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah, so
what?
So at this time, it is closed.
Yeah.
There would be opportunity either at the city council meeting, since there is the CUP.
There will be a
around the road.
public hearing. Yeah, the developer's here if you have questions for them.
Oh. Oh, okay. Did you have any questions? Does anyone have any questions?
I don't from the developer side.
No? Okay, thank you. All right.
Would you be able to go back out to the aerial view version?
Yeah.
I just want to see where, okay.
I understand it's yellow, but does that?
Yeah, I was just looking, just because I know there's a similar setup over on the 232 court north. I guess the floodplain there's a lot bigger, so the properties don't go quite down that far. I know that area is covered under an HOA, so I was just thinking that, if that was something, I'm not a huge fan of it, but it would be some way to keep liability there, so.
Okay.
So yeah, when it comes to that, I wouldn't be opposed to waiting until we had feedback from the hydrologist. If asked, I'd be willing to go and make some DNR calls to find out about enforcement as well. If I wouldn't be able to find anything, then I'd be willing to vote the next time around.
Okay. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me, we're still meeting.
Yeah.
I think we're dealing with two different issues here.
Mhm.
We're dealing with something that has happened in the past.
Yep.
And fear that it might happen in the future on these lots. But what we're dealing with tonight is the variance of the setbacks and the variance of the lot size. It has nothing to do with the trees. And the variance for the setbacks is not on the side of the river, it's on the side of the street.
I agree about that.
Thank
So
you.
I think we should allow city staff to deal with the issue with the trees on previous lots.
Okay.
And the implication of what might happen on these. We have no idea. We can't predict the future, but we can certainly deal with the variance that is in front of us tonight.
Could you put up the proposed variance or the
Yes.
regulation?
Thanks for bringing us back.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you're completely right. Though that is something I still would like follow-up from the next time around, just as part of whether it be normal agenda items, just to have that
I think we
feedback.
could talk about that in the next,
Yep.
the discussion by the planning commission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So at this time, we want to talk primarily about the variance.
Mhm.
And
Yep,
whether
so
or
the
not we-
requests before you tonight are the preliminary plat, the variances, and then the CUP for the public road.
Question for the county highway. Does the city have authority to give that variance, or would the county also need to say, okay?
So commissioners, the city has the ability to give the variance.
Okay.
The county has seen this, they've provided a comment letter, and I did ask them specifically about that variance. And they verbally told me they don't have a problem with it, but we
Okay.
can always get that in writing as well.
Yeah, thank you.
The other thing I did see, I think it was in the engineering comments as well, that with the current impervious surfaces, they wanted a different rainfall amount utilized, NOAA requirement. Just as long as that's done, I don't have a problem with that.
So right now, one of the proposed conditions would be that everything that's in the engineering letter needs to be addressed per the engineering to his standards.
Okay.
Right. Okay, thank you. Do we have a motion?
Can we get the motions listed?
Yep, 1 minute here. There you go.
Since we don't have the public comment, would we be doing the motion for number 2 there?
Yep.
Okay.
So commissioners, you can still provide a recommendation, and we will obviously hold the hearing
Right.
at council after notice.
Okay. Does anyone want to move with a recommendation?
I'll go ahead and give the motion recommendation. I move to recommend approval of the lot area, lot width, front setback, and pervious surface variance with conditions and findings as presented by staff. First one.
I would second
Okay,
that motion.
in favor,
Aye.
opposed?
Me.
Okay. Noted.
We cannot deal with number 2 tonight, correct?
No, she said we can make a recommendation.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
Oh.
I would move to recommend approval of the CUP for the construction of a public road within the Urban River Management District with conditions and findings of fact as presented by staff.
Okay,
I'll
have a
second.
second. In favor? In
Aye.
favor? Opposed?
No.
Thank you.
And I'll go and move to recommend approval of the preliminary plot for the Dalton River Villas project with conditions and findings of fact as presented by staff.
I would second it.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
Opposed?
No.
No. Okay, thank you.
Commissioner McMullen, do you have reasoning that you'd like to?
There's too many
Put in the
questions that
Yeah.
aren't
Okay.
being answered.
Okay.
I would have moved to table it open.
Yeah, I would still like to follow up at the next meeting about that on the agenda. But as it was pointed out, what's being put in front of us here is about the lot areas, lot width, basically the plot.
I agree, but we're letting residents harmed
Mhm.
because we're not given answers. We're not the place to give
Yeah.
answers, but we
Right.
Yeah.
maybe have the authority to try and start getting some answers.
Yeah, and that's what part of our initial statement
Yeah.
is that we welcome all comments. We can always act on them, but we will take it
I
forward.
agree, I just would rather have tabled it until we had the answer.
Yeah,
If something about trees were in here, I would agree too.
well, I'm just, I'm looking to, it's preliminary, it's not a foregone decision, it's not a,
And often what the planning commission,
Beth, can you speak up, please?
sorry, often what the planning commission does is you can provide that recommendation and still note that, you know, you'd like staff to follow up on XYZ, or you'd like a condition added on X, but I understand your position. You don't have to explain further. I just wanted a little more
Maybe if-
clarification.
Maybe if the council sees that somebody at least objected, it might question further what happens.
Sure.
Yes, we will.
That's my point.
yep, well, that, and I think our concerns are noted as well.
Mhm.
And the concerns of the public who shared tonight. Okay. Is it time to move on to regular business items? Are there any? Okay, any discussion?
I think the discussion is around the responsibility of enforcement of tree removal.
Right. Who is responsible and what are the consequences and?
Well,
you know,
I mean,
that's-
we've discussed
Yeah,
it
yeah.
and staff
Right.
has agreed to investigate that for us,
Yeah.
which I think that's the important thing.
I think the
Yeah.
city's doing the correct thing when it comes to laying down the groundworks on the first initially laying out the permits. That's been highlighted here, what's not, cannot be touched. I've seen permits denied for it in the past, and when I brought up with the Rum River, but I do think at least I want to know what that path is. Technically, I feel that the DNR should have something involved with that, but I get the bureaucracy, so.
Yeah, we will look into it and let you know, well, let council know in October and let all of you know also in October,
Okay,
what we learn.
okay, thank you. There's nothing else. We have a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Thank you.
I'll second. Okay.
Okay,
Second,
second, meeting's adjourned at 8:12 PM. Thank you.
Sorry, appreciate you coming.
Question.
Yeah.
Thing about neighbor who's all the grass. Yeah, I mean, I.
Oh. I'm already helping with my competitors. No, I got it. I don't have a problem with it.
Because it was you and Sarah, right?
It's me and Sarah and the mayor.
Yeah.